After every 8 hours, the broker charges the trader with a small amount of fee that is deducted from his account balance, and that fee is called the funding rate. Hey guys, welcome to Crypto's Monopoly. My name is Daksh, and in this video I will tell you what is funding rate, how to calculate it, and in the end I am going to tell you how funding rate can affect your trading account. So make sure you watch this video till the end. There are two different types of futures contract: the traditional futures contract and the perpetual futures contract. And the main difference between both is that the traditional futures contract has an expiration time. That means if a trader holds a position until the expiration time, his position will be forcefully closed and the outcome of the trade will be settled. Normally, people trade on traditional future contracts, but in cryptocurrencies, we trade on perpetual futures contract. In a perpetual futures contract, there is no expiry date, which means that if you open a trade on Bitcoin today, you can hold it as long as you want until your account liquidates. And for this to happen, the broker has to maintain or converge the difference between the spot rate and the futures contract rate. And so, a funding fee is charged from or paid to a trader with an open position. By the way, if you have no idea what the perpetual and traditional future is, I'm gonna add a video on it up next. So make sure you subscribe to this channel right now. Now, if you see the Binance trading platform, you will notice that the funding rate is displayed with a timer beside it. And that time tells us after how many hours or minutes the funding rate will be charged. So, if a funding rate is charged, whom does it goes to? And what determines it? Unlike Forex and stockbrokers, here in cryptocurrencies, the funding rate is peer-to-peer. That means it does not go to the broker and is directly exchanged between the users, that is the buyers and the sellers. That is, when the funding rate is positive, the traders who are long pay for short positions, and conversely a negative funding rate indicates that short positions pay for long positions. In perpetual futures trading, the funding rate consists of the interest rate and the premium rate. The interest rate is mostly fixed with all the brokers, but the premium rate changes as per the volatility in the market and the difference between the spot price and the futures price. Now let us see how to calculate how much amount will you get charged with by the funding rate. The amount you will be charged depends upon the position size. For example, let us say you bought one Bitcoin at a price of $10,000 and the funding rate was 0.015%. So in this case, you will be charged with $1.50. Again, if you bought 5 Bitcoins at a price of $10,000 and the funding rate was 0.015%, in this case, you will be charged with $7.50. As 5 Bitcoins at a rate of $10,000 will be equal to $50,000 and 0.015% of $50,000 will be $7.50. You can clearly see that as the position size increases, the amount you are charged with increases as well. Therefore, it is very critical for a trader to understand how funding rates can greatly affect their trading account. As funding rate calculations consider the amount of leverage used, funding rates may have a big impact on one's profit and losses. Like for someone with high leverage, a trader that pays for funding may suffer losses and get liquidated even in a low volatility markets. What happens is whenever a trader with high leverage enters a position, he doesn't pay much attention to the funding rate he will be charged with and calculates the position size without including the funding rate. And the problem with this is many times when the funding rate is high amounts get deducted from the account which the trader fails to notice, and as a result of this, the liquidation price of the trade narrows and there is a high chance of the trade to get liquidated. Sometimes the funding rate also appears to be a blessing. When a trader is paid with a funding rate, and if a trader is using high leverage, he can get profited with the funding rate without even actually winning trade with a high margin. And many traders use a strategy for this and get benefited from the funding rate.